When you are installing pipe, you are going to encounter obstacles that you are going to need to go around. The way we do this is with an offset. We accomplish it by using two 45-degree elbows, measurements, and some calculations. This way, you can find exactly the length of pipe you will need, whether it is copper or steel pipe. If you have taken geometry, you may remember that a triangle that has two 45-degree angles and a 90-degree angle is an isosceles triangle. What that means is that it has two sides that are equal in length. On the slide, we have two offsets. One is a horizontal offset, the one on the left, and the other is a vertical offset, the one on the right. If you notice, both are exactly the same, but for two words. Run is used for a horizontal offset and rise is used for a vertical offset. The term offset is the distance that the pipe will be out of line.
Hello. Looking at this picture, we were dealing with a horizontal offset. If you notice, the lines for the measurement are going to the center of the fitting. When we are making calculations for an offset, we first need to find the length that is needed to reach center to center of the fittings. To work through these equations, we'll be using a constant. The constant is a number that never changes, and that constant for a 45-degree elbow is 1.414. You'll actually see this in the bottom of the slide on that chart. So in this example, if we have a B dimension, which is center to center, that is 8 inches, we'll multiply it times the constant, which is always going to be 1.41, and we'll end up with 11.312 inches. Hi, it would be nice in the real world if all of our measurements ended up in nice round numbers, like that number 8 for that 8 inches for that B dimension. But this seldom really happens. So if we end up with a fraction, and that's what our tape measures read, we need to convert that fraction to a decimal. So let's just say that measurement we took in the first problem was actually 8 3/4 of an inch. Well, we got to take that 3/4 of an inch and convert that to a decimal. And the easiest way to do that, and it's really quite simple, is just to take the top number and divide it by the bottom number. And if you do that, you would end up with 0.75. So that measurement would be 8.75 inches. And then we can easily multiply that times 1.414, which is our constant.
Since the pipe does not actually go into the center of the fitting, we next have to subtract from the overall length to get our proper length. If you look at the picture on the left, it is of a threaded 45. You will notice that it is measured from the center to the face of the fitting, which is labeled the A dimension, and it is also measured from on the collar, which is labeled the B dimension, where the pipe will thread into. You will also notice there is a dimension G. In the chart under the fitting, you will notice that it lists the size of the A and B dimensions, but not the G dimension. To get the G dimension, you must subtract B from A. The G dimension is the number we need to determine the proper length of our pipe. So looking at the chart, you will notice all the different fractions. If you remember from math, you cannot subtract fractions that have different denominators. Let's just look at the A and B dimensions for a 3/8 inch 45. We have 3/4 inch for the A dimension and 3/8 for the B dimension. The easiest way to subtract the B dimension from the A dimension is to change the fractions into decimals. You can do this by dividing the top number of the fraction by the bottom number of the fraction. So for the A dimension, it would be 3 divided by 4, which gives us 0.75. For the B dimension, we divide the 3 by the 8, which would give us 0.375. What is nice about the copper 45 pictured on the right is it gives you the G dimension.
Okay, so to wrap this up, to get our proper pipe to cut, to get the offset in the example, what we need, the B dimension center to center, as we said earlier, was 8 inches. So that's multiplied times the constant for a 45-degree elbow, which is 1.414, and that's going to equal 11.312. The G dimension, which we have to subtract out, for 3/8 threaded 45 is 0.375. Multiply that times 2 because we have 2 fittings, equals 0.75. So what we get is 11.312 minus 0.75 equals 10.562 inch. This is the length of pipe that we need to cut to make the offset. Problem is we need to convert it back to a fraction because we can't read decimal points on our tape measures. So what we're going to do is we're going to convert it to 16ths, which is the easiest thing to do. So we take 0.562 divided by 0.06, which is a constant to convert to 16ths, will equal 9.36. If the number's over 5, so if it was 9.6, you round up. But if it's under 5, you round down. So what we ended up with was 9.36, so we're going to round down with that one. So our final measurement is 10 and 9/16. It's that simple. So what I would do is do the problem in the that I gave you with this module. There's a couple of them actually, and make sure you know how to do it. I understand there's a lot of converting back and forth to fractions, but if you take your time and spend a little time on it, it should go okay. All right, thanks guys. Bye.